Welcome back to another episode of Sacred Talk with your girl, Ash. And on this podcast, we talk about people doing amazing things on their journey so that it can ultimately help you on yours. And today, I am thrilled to be joined by a true innovator in both fashion and skincare, the founder and CEO of Haus of Prince. Please welcome my good friend, Prince PJ Studstill.
Hey. Yo.
How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah.
What's up, friend?
I'm sorry.
We just started, so please don't go
This
there.
is my third day out here, but I am interested to know, how have you been? I know you just got in town. You came all the way to Orlando to be on the show. I
know.
appreciate that so
Fresh
much.
out of Los Angeles.
Yeah.
But it's for you.
I love that. You've been on tour, though.
Low key.
You've been on tour. I heard you on the phone talking about, oh, yeah, got to get to work or whatever. Whatever
this
you did.
is work.
The third thing that you did.
This was work. Yeah. So I've been just going through this journey of just finding myself, right?
Uh-huh.
So when I think about going on tour with House of Prince and really trying to spread it, I'm learning so much about me in the process. So, I went down to Tampa when I first got here, and that was amazing. Just to be able to get a chance to reconnect with some family, but also still talk about my business. So I was able to get some new customers and new clients. Yeah. But yeah, so it's just been a real good spiritual journey, just trying to get here to this moment today. And after this, I'm resting.
Yes, you must get your rest or everybody going to shut down because I've been there before. But I love that. I love that you've been on tour. I love that you've been spreading your business because if you don't do it, it just won't get done.
Nobody else
will. Of course, you have your supporters, but you have to put in that groundwork. And
you do.
It's really an investment when you traveling. You came down for the holidays to chill, but you got to put in that work because you have to really push your brand, push your business. I love that.
You do.
And before, honestly, we get super started, you said something in just now. You was you've been learning about yourself.
Yeah.
Can you touch on that before we? You said you've been learning things about yourself.
So this year, just starting House of Prince, right? I mean, you were at my soft launch that I hosted almost a year ago now. Next month will make a year. So we've been working on House of Prince for months before I even had the soft launch. So I feel like after I had the soft launch, there were so many things revealed to me about myself that I didn't see before. So it was a lot of learning who is Prince, the friend, who is Prince, the son and brother, the godfather, but then who is Prince, the business owner and the entrepreneur? Who is Prince, the problem solver and being more solution based? Who is that version of me, right? And even outside of being in corporate, I think I just found that when you were in corporate, they have all these things that are if this happens, this is what you should do. And then that's kind of foundational to if you get another problem that's similar to it. But I've just been learning that with my journey as a business owner and entrepreneur, it's been completely different than that. There's no manual or solution book that says, when this happens, this is what you should do. And it really has taught me how resilient I can be and how powerful it is to have your mindset shifted on, is this something I need to learn from? And when the problems come, how am I handling that? How is my attitude towards it? How is my energy towards it? Am I focused more on the negative, or am I focused on, this is just another bump in the road for my journey? And where is this going to take me once I figure that out?
Wow. Amazing. I love it. Wow. It's so funny because I've just started to learn this myself too, is those tests and trials and problems that we think are there are really there just to make us stronger. It really gives us the tool, like you said, for the next situation that will come. I had to put in my mind, hey, things are going to come up. It's about how, just like you said, how you respond to it. And this happened this year and you thought it was the end of the world, but you figured it out. And next year, when something happens similar, you know how to go about it because you've got the tools to move forward and not just shut everything down. Drop everything, Craig's in trouble. Because
down goes Frazier.
Badly,
it's for real.
like, because like you said, when you're in corporate or you're working a job, they tell you like, oh, if this happened, this is who you call, or this is who you go to.
Yeah.
They tell you. But when you're doing your own thing, like being an entrepreneur, I don't care what you're doing. If you're doing it on, like, by yourself, when problems arise, you know what to do.
Because, baby, let me tell you, I'm quick to get on the phone with HR if I'm at my corporate job. Like, this ain't going right, and you need to fix it. Right?
And then be like, you need to come on and get
like,
down.
Not an attitude. Like, immediately, you need to come. Woo. And then now I'm like,
now
who
you're
I'm about
HR.
to call? Because HR is me. So I'm on the phone with myself. Woo! I'm at the table with myself. I'm like, okay.
Talking to a mirror. Listen.
I'm like, we need to discuss this with head of marketing. Then I sit at the table like, you the head of marketing. Ooh. Okay. So marketing, you to you. What are you about to do?
No, for real.
How you gonna fix this? Like, what are we about to put out today? And that has been just a journey within itself. Is learning that and just really being proud of myself this year. Like, I think that's the biggest thing I can say is that this year was phenomenal to me. It was tough. It was hard, but I'm very proud at how I handled everything this year. Like, I think this unlocked something totally new for me.
It feels so good.
It do.
Ooh.
It feels great. And I think other people can see it too.
Yes.
Like, I think it's not something that I have to, like, gatekeep for myself and be like, oh, I'm just proud of myself and that's it. It's like I get to share this with really, I want to say my close friends or family, but at this point with my business expanding the way that it is, I'm actually kind of sharing my experience with the world now. Yes. So it's not the little level that I thought it was going to be when I first had my soft launch. Like, I'm just thinking, okay, this is a little cute, we're going to put something together. No, it ran, and now I have to just be able to stand in it and now be able to maintain it.
Yes, and I want to say that you're doing an amazing job. Every time, every time I get on the socials, I see you posting, because that's actually kind of challenging just to always stay on top of marketing. So I see your marketing, I see you out in the streets, I see you getting these interviews and all the things. So I am very, very proud of you. Keep going. You, and before, I already said before I go home, but I heard you say this new you. You were saying, like, you get to expose it to your close friends and then out and about or whatever. How has that been as far as, so for example, like, once you start being a certain way or you learn new lessons, you start to present, you're seen as, like, differently or whatever. How are you able to matriculate that with your close friends and outward? Like, this is now who I am. This is the new Princeton. How has that been? And how has that been received? Like, oh yeah, before that was okay or whatever, but now this is how I'm moving. Or now I'm gonna need you to be aware that this is how I want to be, respected or whatever. How has that been?
Ash, that's a good question. It hasn't been easy. Like, you would be surprised at how many people aren't really as excited about your growth as you may be, or as others may be. And it really has come to a place where now I was just telling Jameer and Kiana.
Shout out to the gang.
Because they always hold it down. Our friend circle is so tight. And I was having a conversation with them, and we were talking about how I used to be in college, right? Yes. So they were like, what's going on with you? Like, in college, you would have never said that, or you would have never done this. And I had to explain to them, at that time, I didn't know myself enough. So I had an idea of who I thought I was, but I was creating myself around a narrative for the things I wanted to do in college. So when I wanted to pledge, when I wanted to run for Mr. FAMU and all these other things, I was always told, oh, no, you can't say that because that's not what Mr. FAMU says. Or, no, you can't do this because that's not what a person who pledges this organization does. And so everything was around me trying to make myself mold into what that image was for everybody else, which of course ran into people pleasing and making myself like almost crazy about who I really am. But then behind closed doors, when I'm with y'all, I'm like acting up, like it's cut up time. And then I had to realize, like, that's really me, because it was certain times that, like, once we graduated from FAMU, I really had to sit down and realize, like, who is the version that isn't attached to Florida A&M University? Like, if you didn't even go to FAMU, who are you? Because that started to become my only identity, was being a FAMU student, a FAMU graduate, this and that. Like, you know, I did a lot of stuff in school. So every title you can think of, I almost had. So
everybody knew this.
Yeah, like, everybody knew me. And I've embraced being a socialite, but I have learned after that, you know, a lot of people were really taking a lot of stuff the wrong way with me. Because now I'm more introverted. Like, I'm not as extroverted as I used to be. And I put so much energy out into the world for so long that now I'm conserving it for me. So I did have to set boundaries with a lot of people, which is hard. I've had to go through relearning myself in a way that, like, I don't have to cut this person off. I just need to place them where they should be in my life. Because sometimes that's not always the answer, is just to cut people off, right? Like, you have to kind of discern and know when that is appropriate, and when you just need to place somebody in another area that, like, if it's not serving you, but they got a good heart, whatever, you know, I can place this person over here and we could be cordial. It doesn't necessarily mean I don't have to speak to you, but I did have to realize that out of me learning that I don't really want to be around a lot of people that don't really care and support me. And I think I found that just throughout the years, I'm like, the same people that I've been rocking with have been with me for like over 10 years. So anybody outside of that who comes around that's new, I welcome them. I think that they have potential to be great people in my life for that season or whatever it may be. But I am learning how to conserve my energy and not give that out, or to be something that they want me to be, just to fit into whatever social status they have. And I think now I'm just creating my own social status. Like, I don't think I have to be a part of nobody's. I think when it comes down to House of Prince, like, he can have his own. So.
And I won't lie. I love that. So I like how you said you don't have to cut people off. If you feel like something is off or something not right, or they're testing your boundaries, you can put them in a different category. You're like, you don't have to just completely get rid of them. And during my journey, which is continuous, of just like standing on business about myself, because a lot of things that you said are very it really resonated as far as like people pleasing, or kind of like fitting in a mold when I'm around these people to make them feel comfortable, or make whatever, just like you said. So a lot of things like hit me. So when you said you don't have to cut them off, I was like, oh damn, I done fuck around and
like,
got rid of them.
Maybe I did cut off too many people.
Now I don't know nobody. Like,
I don't got no friends.
Who am I gonna talk to? So
phone dry.
Right, but like you said, the people that has been there are still there. But I started to realize, like, whoa, the way you moving or the way you speaking, I don't like that. And initially it was like cut, but then I think as it got to people that are really, really close and are really, really my people, and I'm not going to cut them off, but I started to be more like, hey, actually, I don't like that. You know, actually, when you say that, it makes me not feel good about myself. So can we switch that up? And I've learned, like, if they love you, if they care about you, they will respect that. And don't expect the people to, and I'm talking to myself, respect it or like be able to like adjust to the new you tomorrow, because that's not fair, because you didn't adjust to the new you in one day. It took you a while. So
I'm still adjusting to the new me. So how I'm supposed to expect them to jump on the bandwagon all of a sudden? But what I can appreciate is the people who do know me can be able to see me in the new light and be able to compliment that. Like, when I had that conversation with Kiana and Jamira, they were cheering me on. Like, they rallied around me in support to say, you right, you not people pleasing no more, and you deserve not to be. Like, because outside of everything, nobody that I was trying to please put me on to anything that I have today. So like, graduating college, getting a job, I didn't get no job because somebody I knew that I was trying to people please put me on. Right. I went and got my own stuff. Like, everything that I did was on my own and for me. Yeah. And I mean, of course, with the help of my Lord. So shout out to God. But that's the only person I'm trying to people please is him. Come on. Like, outside of that, I don't owe anybody anything, and they don't owe me anything back. So to try to keep changing myself
Yes.
and trying to figure out how to be able to make either myself comfortable with them or them comfortable with me, it just ain't working like that.
Mm-hmm.
So like at the base, you're gonna get the Florida boy who lives in California, been in California for 5 years, running my own business, and making my own decisions and my own moves. That's what you're gonna get at the base.
I love that.
Whatever you get outside of that determines on what you decide to do.
That's your business.
That's your business.
You
I'm just gonna do me,
Yes.
and I gotta stay true to that because I think that's what has made my business grow the way that it has been.
Mm-hmm.
Because this time it was no one else that told me what I need to do for my business and how it should look.
Mm-hmm.
It's me making the decisions, and I feel great about that.
I was just about to say, doesn't it feel good?
Ooh, liberating. Okay.
Okay, but anyway, I love that for you. I connect with that completely. Because guess what? On the other side of that, we don't allow, or we allow people to show up as themselves, and we adjust. But that's not fair.
Yeah.
If we can just all show up as ourselves, it'll be a smoother, happier world.
Because you can tell when somebody faking it.
Yeah.
And that's my thing. Like, when I started my business, you know, when I told y'all about everything at the soft launch, it was about healing and bringing the community together and being able to provide a product that reached everyone, right? So, like, how can I have a foundation for that as my business, but I can't be me? And then I don't give you the space to be you. Like, you can tell when it's not authentic. And that's the thing that I'm like, I have to start making some changes and some moves. And when I did, coincidentally, on the other end, some people did fall off. And I had to be okay with that.
Yeah.
Like, even when I started my business, people that I haven't spoken to in years came back out the woodworks. And I'm thinking this is an opportunity to reconnect and be able to kind of mend that relationship or to start over a new leaf in that relationship. And I just found out with so many of them that it didn't make a difference. Like, the relationship is where it is. And that's why I say I was able to put people in the position that they should have been, because they still have access to reach out and tell me congratulations. Even if they reach out and say, hey, I'm thinking about starting a business. Can you X, Y, and Z to help me figure this out? I don't have a problem with that, right? I don't think that I'm in a place where, no, gone. But I do limit the access, and I pick and choose how much access is given to that. And that's why I'm like, I put people in a position that they should be in, and I had to make peace with it. It wasn't even the other person. I had to realize that it's me that actually was carrying more of the weight and not them at all. So, like, I can't be mad at you for doing you, and then I'm upset at myself because I'm the one not doing me. And that's what had to be the turning point for me.
I love it.
I love you.
I love you. I'm Dirty Dan. Okay, stop.
You was crazy. You was crazy.
Okay. It sound like, listening to you, it sound like you have been in a season of shedding and rebuilding. And I love it.
I heard a sermon yesterday that said a season of transition.
Yes.
And I feel like that plays a part in that too.
Yes.
Like, I really have transitioned. I think the person who walks through the doors now is not the same person that y'all would have seen 5 years ago.
You know what? I feel it.
You feel it?
Yes. The energy.
It's just...
Okay, let's
You need to be
clarify.
serious.
Okay, so let's get into it. Let's talk about all things House of Prince.
Period.
You know, the journey, all the good things, and then
Yeah.
at the end we're gonna play a little game.
Okay. I like a good game.
You like a little good game? Okay, so House of Prince.
Yes.
How did it start? Let us know.
So, House of Prince started really like accidentally. So, me working when I moved to LA, I always wanted to move to LA, right? And so that was one of the things that once I did move, I thought I was marking off a list off of my goal sheet. And I was like, check, like you moved, right? But then I didn't feel fulfilled. So I was in the city I wanted to be in, and I was in the place that I'm like, I should be excited and I should feel ignited, and I didn't. Like, I still felt like something was missing. So during that transitional time, I just wanted to know like what was going to be for me. So I went through probably like 30 different things that I'm like, I like doing this and I like doing that and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that. So I was all over the place. Like, At one point, I was like getting my license to bartend.
Really?
Then at another point, I was like working on event planning and hosting and doing this. Like, then I wanted to be a motivational speaker. Then
you can still do it.
Hey, I was going through like 30 different things. So when House of Prince came, it was because I really wanted to focus on my fashion. I had finally got to the point where I was like, everything else I can be good at, but what am I passionate about? Like, what is really the heartbeat of me? So I started working on all my fashion stuff, and I was like, I think I want to do a boutique. So when I had originally got my logo made for House of Prince, as you can see,
very nice.
He's dressed in a suit.
Yes.
This ain't got nothing to do with skincare. He in a whole suit with his leg crossed. He has nothing to do with his skin. Yes. He don't even have skin.
He don't even have a face.
He don't have a face. And then he got Johnny Bravo hair that I had back in the day.
Go ahead.
So I'm like, don't put that picture up. Y'all don't go on my Facebook and find that.
I'll put it on video. Love bug.
But so I ended up really wanting to do my boutique, and then I was going through the prices for all this stuff, and I was like, oh my God, like it's really expensive to start that off. And I probably would have been able to if I wasn't living in LA, because LA is expensive.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, what can I do in the meantime before I get to that point? So one thing leads to another. My uncle comes out to support me in my fashion show because I walked in LA Fashion Week. So he orders this huge tub of shea butter for no reason, because he was only there for like 2-3 days.
What Unc had planned?
He orders this full, and it was like the raw one too. And he was like, nothing else works on my skin. I have to use this. And I'm like, well, how do you even get it to melt? Because it's so rough.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. So he was like, well, you can keep it. I'm done with that. Goes back home, right? I was like doing some cleaning, and I'm like, what am I supposed to do with this? Like, I don't even want this, right?
Yeah.
So I literally take it. I'm on the phone with Jackie and Kiana, and I'm telling them, I'm about to throw this away. They was like, don't you throw that thing away. I mean, they going in on me on the phone. And I'm like, okay, hold on, wait. So Jackie was like, well, if you're not going to do nothing with it, just send it to me. And I was like, well, I'll ship it to you. And she was like, Kiana was like, just try.
Yeah.
Just make something from it. Just try. So this was us talking because I just didn't want it underneath my sink no more. This had nothing to do with a business. Yeah. This had nothing to do with making anything for the public. It was just like, don't throw that good thing of shea butter away. So I said, okay. I talked to them. I go to Target, got a few like fragrances and stuff, just something basic, because they sent me TikToks on like people making butters. So I was like, oh, people really do this, huh? So I go in, dab a little bit, mix this a little bit. And at this time, I had no equipment. I literally had no equipment. So I was making it in my blender.
Okay.
Like,
you gotta do
talk about humble beginnings. And like, again, I was making it for me, just because they was talking about me. So I was like, okay, well, let me make sure I got myself together. So I tried out, do whatever, and literally one thing led to another, where I went on a trip to DC with Jackie. It was around the anniversary of my mom's passing, so I needed just to get away, and I was like, okay, well, I just want to be able to go somewhere fresh and just like clear my mind during this time, right? So I had just made my first thing of shea butter. Yeah. And I bought some. My brother Calvin actually met me out in DC too. So it was me, Jackie, and Calvin. And at that time, I only had the peppermint one because it was around the time of the fall. So I put peppermint in it. Then I created what my original one is, the lemon pound cake that you love so much. And I was just saving it for them because I just wanted them to try it. When they gave me the encouragement and said like, no, this is a really good product. It's like one thing from that conversation to this conversation now leads to me being here today.
Wow.
Like, on Amazon, 7 different fragrances that I'll be offering in 2025. And I'm like, how did I even get here? It's like I blinked. And now we're here.
Wow. That's awesome. Everything happened for a reason.
It's alignment, baby.
Yes, it's is.
Alignment.
Can you talk about the challenges that you faced and how you were able to get through those?
Yeah, it was a lot of challenges, right? So when I did my soft launch, like, because it was so private and intimate for me, I didn't have a lot of stress at that point. It was more so about just get through the event. And I hosted it on my mom's birthday that year. So that was a really special day for me. because I was doing something new that I had never done, and especially in honor of her birthday. So that within itself was like a challenge, right? Because I'm doing something that like you want that person to be here, and it's like that was kind of heartbreaking to get around. So then I start my business up. I launch in February for Black History Month, and we're just selling. Like the first drop I did, we sold out in less than 2 weeks. So I literally put up the promo videos. Those started going viral. The things from the soft launch started going crazy. People were like, I just want to know what it is.
Yeah.
And they had no idea what it was yet. Just wanted some. And I'm like, okay. So then I'm like, now I've got to get in the mode of like, how am I going to keep production going? Because it's just me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm the only one living in LA, but I have support and help remotely. Like, they're across the country from me. So I'm like, man, how am I supposed to get all this done? So we go through, I'm just pushing out products, selling out every time I put it. Get to around May, I would say April, May-ish, where now we're going into this heat wave in the summer. And because my body butters are all natural, they're very sensitive to heat. So what I didn't realize was that when I was shipping out my products, by the time it would leave my area in California, where it was probably still cooler than the rest of the nation, when I'm sending out to Florida, it's like 80, 90 degrees. So by the time it even makes it to them, my products are completely ruined. And that was really tough for me to get around, because at that point, House of Prince wasn't operating at all, because I'm operating through Amazon. So when you're on Amazon, your account health is based off reviews and how many times you're able to fulfill an order, yes, but they give you a window of this is how long this customer has to file a complaint or to get a refund, and that's how they dictate how your algorithm is on Amazon.
Wow.
So a lot of people don't realize, like, when I'm asking for reviews and I'm asking for 5-star reviews, it's because that's what's going to put me further with new clients and new customers. Because if anybody's looking for a moisturizer, body butter, lotion, anything, I come up. Like House of Prince is in the algorithm of all of that. But when you start getting the negative feedback, and I'm getting emails every other day like, oh, this, like, it was one review I had got into my email, and the lady called it like a liquid mess and said it smelled horrible and all this kind of stuff. And I mean, she just trashed me, like completely trashed me. Then it was other people that I actually knew, people in my family, getting the product, not telling me that it was melted, but then leaving negative feedback on Amazon. Like, and it was just blowing me. And I'm like, bro, like, you could have called me and I could have figured out a way how to help you. But, like, don't go through Amazon when you got my number.
You said put them in that little category. They don't even get a category.
That's part of what taught me the category.
No.
That's part of what taught me the category.
That's weird.
Because I'm like, you're not really supporting me at that point.
You going against me.
You're going against you're op.
You're opatory. I don't know.
Stop playing.
I don't know what to say.
But it was a really hurtful time. Yeah. Though. I wasn't selling nothing.
Oh.
I wasn't operating. I had disabled everything House of Prince on Amazon. Like, even if you went on there, you couldn't look it up. Because I was like,
you were trying to
everything was coming so fast, and then I didn't have enough time to figure out how to fix the issue of the body butters melting. Was it a shipping thing? Was it my actual product? It was so many other elements.
Packaging
and then I did have a representative from Amazon that I would meet with every week. So he would help me, like, kind of get the page together and get everything together. So when that was happening, he was like, hey, like, I'm looking at, and I'm like, Josh, please, like, don't come down on me any harder than what I already am. But he really was asking, like, what is going on? Because when we first met, like, this was moving. And, like, now you don't have anything. And then I'm seeing, like, all these refunds. So I was basically spending more money refunding people and trying to keep the business going than I was actually making anything to put back into it. And because I'm independently funded, I had to make a decision. I'm like, it's either I keep putting this money into this, or I take this season to just replan and redo this whole thing from top to bottom. But it was tough.
Yeah.
That was a hard decision to make. That was one of the challenges that really hurt me the most, but we bounced back.
real good, actually.
I use that as my motivation and my fuel to get back out there because I almost had just shut it down for good. Like, I was just that. And which, as a business owner, you expect things to happen, but it's really hard when you do put yourself out there and then you're getting all this pushback or this negativity. And I just had to stop even paying attention to that. I'm like, things are going to happen. People will feel how they're going to feel. Even if I have the best product on the market, somebody out there is going to say they don't like it. I had to realize if I'm creating this organization to be the empire that it deserves to be, there's going to be some bumps in the road. And like, I would never be able to see the empire built if I give up now.
Come on.
So
you better talk to him.
I had to really convince myself to say, like, you miss this. Yes. Like, you love doing this. You love seeing people happy. You love telling people to enjoy the glow. I enjoy my own glow. And I just prayed about it. That's all I could do. I was in prayer. I was just doing everything I could do to be clear-minded. Like, I needed clarity, and I needed God to speak something to me that said, no, you need to get up and do it now. And so I one day made a bunch of products, packaged it, did it, because I changed my packaging at that time. So I changed my labels, packaging, all these things. And then I was just sitting on it. I didn't even release it yet. I was just sitting on it. And one day I was just in the bed and I was supposed to be doing something. And it's almost like God just tapped me on the shoulder and was like, now.
Ooh, I love it.
And I didn't know what to do with that. I was in the bed and I was like, you talking about right now?
Not like right now?
You mean like right now? Because even like, because, you know, Jackie is a part of like, she's my operator, financial consultant. She's everything, right? Yeah. So I think we were on the phone and she was like, I didn't know you were doing. And I'm like, I actually run this. Right. And I'm like, I'm the assistant. She's really the boss, right?
I love it.
So when I jumped the gun, she was looking like, who told you to do that?
Okay.
And I was like, I don't know, Jackie. I'm just feeling it. Like something's just telling me I need to do it. And it was like, again, one thing led to another just from listening to that. And when God told me yes, I knew that was the way I needed to go. Yeah. And so I just uploaded all my stuff. I found whatever little content I could put together and was like, we back. And it was baby, what a love at.
I love it. And I think it's important and necessary for us to kind of step back and rebuild ourselves to be able to come back out there. But the biggest thing is that you came back, because a lot of things always happen. If these businesses or things that you see that are still flourishing to this day, if they stopped way back in the journey, then we wouldn't have them. So
we wouldn't have what we have.
Exactly. So it's very, very important to just keep pushing. And I'm glad you did that.
And I'm glad you did, because I wouldn't be here if you didn't come back.
I'm so happy I'm back, because this is amazing. This is a great way to come back. All right. And we're going to get into the game and we're going to wrap this thing up. Okay. So the game is like a rapid question. So just answer with like one word or maybe like 2-3 words. I don't know. Okay. Ready?
I'm ready.
Favorite skincare product of all time?
House of Prince.
Woo! One word to describe your style.
Classy.
Ooh. What's your go-to fashion accessory?
Shades.
Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Dream destination for inspiration?
Bali.
If you could collaborate with any brand, who would it be?
Fenty.
One piece of advice that you live by?
That's a good one. Oh my God.
Get it out.
I gotta get it out. You know what? My favorite has been what my mom always told me growing up. This too shall pass.
Oh, I love it.
So that's my favorite piece of advice.
Yes, I love that.
When it gets hard, that's what I have to tell myself.
This too shall pass. Okay. Early bird or night owl?
Early bird.
Okay. One thing you can't live without?
My godchild.
Period.
My goddaughter.
What's next for House of Prince?
Everything.
Ooh.
Everything. House of Prince has just gotten their first celebrity customer. I won't release who.
Oh, wow.
I won't release who, but I was able to work backstage in production with this celebrity, daytime television, and I packed a cute little box for this person that had all my products in it. So House of Prince is on the move. I am in an accelerator program for a major retail store.
Come on.
So I am trying to get House of Prince on the shelves in the next few years. So we've got a lot coming.
We got a lot of things coming.
Coming.
2025 House of Prince is going to be on your Okay, so please, thank you I want to say thank you so much for coming on the podcast. This was
thank
so
you, babe,
good.
for having me.
Yeah, we definitely got into some things, and I look forward to seeing you on here in the future because this was good. Yes, for sure.
You can have me anytime. This is my first time here back in Orlando for the holidays in 5 years since I moved away.
Wow.
So you were a big part of why I even had to make sure I was in town. Because I might have chickened out and not came.
Ooh, nervous.
Like, I ain't doing it.
Okay, so I want you to tell the audience where they can find you. So they can lock in on House of Prince because it smells so good. I'm excited for the new endeavors for House of Prince with the fashion. How you're going to loop some of the other things in. I already know it's coming. So give the audience your tags.
Yes. Y'all can find me on Instagram @_House of Prince, HAUS of Prince. Anything outside of that, TikTok, The Real Princeton J. Facebook, you can find me, PJ Studstill. And yeah, I want a little bit of everything. Once you get connected to one social, it'll take you to everything else. But Instagram is my main source of social media. And also, House of Prince is available on Amazon 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days.
Ooh. Thank you guys so much for joining us for another amazing episode of Sacred Talk. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. And we'll see you on the next one. Bye.